Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sean here, and welcome to my rebuild. Note, not realistic, but my rebuild, aka fantasy, of the New England Patriots. So I haven't done one of these fantasy style rebuilds in quite some time, so I'm giving myself probably the easiest team to just kind of ease back into it. So obviously, this is already a really good team in a really, really easy division. So of course we have Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and Julian Edelman on offense. The offensive line isn't terrible. It's actually pretty solid. I would like an upgrade at center and left guard, and I'm sure you guys probably already know who I'm going to target there, but I may look for a little bit of diversity. And then we have Martellus Bennett that we could trade to because he's going to be a free agent after this year, and I'm not using two tight ends in my offense. Same with LeGarrette Blount. He's not the greatest, and I'm pretty sure he'll also be a free agent after this year, so we can maybe move on from him. And then as for the defense, of course we have Malcolm Butler and Devin McCourty. It's not terrible. Dante Hightower is definitely really good. I'd like another solid middle linebacker. Maybe a better pass rusher too, that could help. But guys like Trey Flowers always gets really good for some reason. Jabal Sheard, Barkevius Mingo, and Rob Ninkovich are solid for this year. I'd be okay with keeping all those guys as starters. And then Logan Ryan is definitely a solid second corner. The only areas really I'd like to upgrade on defense is definitely strong safety, middle linebacker, like I said, and maybe target a pass rusher. So I'm going to get started looking for some trades. So I'll come back to you guys when I've got something. So with the first trade here, we're going to be sending Martellus Bennett, Shea McClellan, and Chris Long to the Browns for their first round pick this year and next year. And with our next trade, we're going to be sending a third round pick to the Cowboys for Zach Martin, who's going to be starting at left guard. Well, I'm slightly surprised that this actually got accepted, but we're going to be sending the Seahawks Alan Branch and our first round pick and our second round pick this year for Cam Chancellor. So we got that strong safety hole plugged, and the team is looking pretty solid. I could use a couple of depth pickups and still another center, and obviously another middle linebacker, but aside from that, this team is going to be good. Oh yeah, I was thinking about trying to pick up Brandon Cooks too. I haven't tried it just yet, but I guess I will. So we've got our second middle linebacker. We're going to be sending the Cowboys our first round pick next year and our fourth and fifth rounders this year for Jalen Smith. So hopefully that'll be a good pickup. He usually does really well and progresses real quick. So that'd be nice if he could do the same here. Alright, so with this trade, we're going to be sending the Ravens Justin Coleman and our third rounder next year for Marshall Yanda. So we're going to either move either him or... actually, I'll just move Zach Martin. He can pretty much play anywhere. So Zach Martin will be our starting center, and then that'll round out the entirety of the O-line. So with the final trade of season number 1, we're going to be sending the Seahawks Patrick Chung and Sebastian Vollmer for their first round pick next year and their third this year. So with that, that's going to round out it's going to round out the roster. So this is what it's going to look like for year 1. Not much has changed since the last time you saw it. I just signed a couple guys to be backups. I got Joseph Faria in free agency, and who else? Quentin Coples. That's about it. But with that, I will see you guys at the midseason, and we'll see what our record is. Alright, so here at the midseason mark of season number 1, I've not seen our record yet. But we are 5-3, and this division is tough. The Jets are the only bad team, apparently. But we have 10 players to re-sign, and that is going to be starting with Malcolm Butler, but I'm pretty sure we have a ton of cap room. And we do. So we're going to go ahead and give Butler that contract, and it's perfect. So he will re-sign with us, and I'm going to go ahead and re-sign some of these other guys. But I'll see you guys at the playoffs, where hopefully we'll make it, which is kind of weird to say as the Patriots, but yeah, that's just kind of how this division is shaping out. So we do in fact end up making the playoffs, and as you see in the bottom left, Tom Brady actually won the MVP. So we end up going 13-3, and if you remember, I'm pretty sure we were 5-3 at the midseason mark, so we won out, and the Bills really fell apart, and the Dolphins just didn't do as well as they started out doing. Let's take a quick look at stats here. So Tom Brady, 4,800 passing yards, 48 touchdowns, and 8 picks. That is insane. That's definitely MVP worthy. Rushing, LeGarrette Blount, almost 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns. That's really good. Deion Lewis also almost 700 yards and 8 touchdowns. Receiving, led by Julian Edelman, almost 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns. Rob Gronkowski, almost 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. Danny Amendola, 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. I think that might be the first time he's had 1,000 yards, maybe ever. It's kind of funny. Blocking, we were pretty solid. We let up 17 sacks. That's not terrible. Defense led by Dante Hightower with 114 tackles. He also had 1.5 sacks and 3 picks, so that might be Defensive Player of the Year worthy. But sacks were led by Trey Flowers with 12.5. Jabal Sheard also had 12, and Ninkovich had 8. Picks were led by Malcolm Butler, actually tied with Devin McCourty. They both had 4, and like I said, Dante Hightower with 3. Let's take a look. Forced fumbles. Oh, Hightower had 4. That's crazy. Barkevius Mingo had 4 as well. And any safeties? No. Any touchdowns? No. All right. So that's enough of stats. Let's take a look at awards. Like I said, we already know Tom Brady won MVP. Coach of the Year goes to Mike Tomlin. Cheat Master, unfortunately, came in 3rd. Bill Belichick constantly getting snubbed for that Coach of the Year award, but that's fine. Offensive Player of the Year. This, I was saying the same thing pretty much in another one of my rebuilds, but I don't see how one player can win MVP, but then not win Offensive Player of the Year. If that makes sense. But anyway, Tom Brady finishes 2nd behind Le'Veon Bell. Do we have, LeGarrette Blount finished 4th, and that's it for us on offense. And then defense, Dante Hightower came in 4th. Khalil Mack won the award, so I'm assuming he got like 20, definitely 20 plus sacks. Rob Ninkovich actually came in 9th. That's pretty weird to see. Cody Kessler, always with the Rookie of the Year award. He pisses me off with that so much. But we didn't really have any. Oh yeah, we had Jalen Smith. He came in 6th for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I totally forgot about him for some reason. Best QB, obviously Tom Brady, and these other position awards don't really matter so much. But we do have a bye week, so let's move into the divisional round and see who we're taking on. We're going to be taking on the 11-5 Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going to use some XP, and we're going to get into this game. So the only person that had any kind of significant XP on the team was Shaq Mason. He's up to an 88 overall. We didn't really have any crazy like 20,000 XP for players besides him, just because we didn't really win any awards. But we are a 90 overall taking on the Chiefs at an 87. Let's get into this and come home with the victory, hopefully. Move on to the conference championship in year 1. That would be nice. So coming up on halftime here, the score is 17-10. And we scored, okay, a couple more times, 29-10 now. And it's oh man, okay. We have got this game in the bag. We were just pouring it on in the second half. It's pretty crazy. Tom Brady had one hell of a day. And we are moving on to the conference championship. So here in the conference championship week, we're going to be taking on the 14-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. They actually have a better record than us, so hopefully we'll come out on top and advance to the Super Bowl. But we are still at a 90 overall, and they're at an 89. So we'll see how this goes. I'm a little bit worried for this game, but after last week, we should be pretty confident heading in. So coming up on halftime here, we just take the lead with a touchdown right before the half. So currently 24-17. And we score again, 27-17. Okay, 30-17 now. And we just keep on kicking field goals. But we're going to come out on top with a final score of 33-17. Tom Brady again, 3 touchdowns. Wow. We actually really limited Ben Roethlisberger. So I'm assuming that's the main reason we won. But we are advancing to the Super Bowl here in year number 1. Oh man, I had a feeling this was going to happen. We're taking on the Seahawks in Super Bowl 51, and the reason I say that is we traded them quite a few players, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us in the ass here, but they went 11-5, and we already know we went 13-3. Let's see what their overall is. This is an 88. We're still at a 90. Let's get into this game, and let's win another championship. Just like in real life, actually. So that'd be quite fitting. So coming up on halftime here, it's been a hell of a game so far. They're currently up by 3, but we tied the game at 17, and they're going to kick another field goal. We score a touchdown, though, and okay. All right, we got the ball, and we score a touchdown. They tie it up, and we kick a field goal in the clutch. Oh, my God. Steven Gostkowski just pulled an Adam Vinatieri. Oh, man. It's lit, boys. Okay. Let's take a look at Super Bowl stats. Tom Brady, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 313 yards. We got I'm assuming it was a clutch pick off of Russ. LeGarrette Blount, another good game for him, 94 yards, 1 touchdown. Thomas Rawls was kind of limited. He did have a touchdown, though. And then, geez, Tyler Lockett really destroyed us. But Gronk had a really good game. Let's take a look at defense. We got any sacks? Michael Bennett got a sack on Brady, and Trey Flowers got a sack on Russ, and then Malcolm Butler with the lone pick in the game. So we do end up winning the Super Bowl here in year number 1. So that means, I did not say this, but because we're using the Patriots, we are going to be going for the three-peat. So if we don't win next year, I guess that'll just be it. But if we do, of course, we're going to go on and try to three-peat. So with that, we'll be moving on to the off-season and free agency in the draft. So I'll see you guys there. So far in free agency, we're going to be signing Lorenzo Alexander, DeMarcus Ware, and Junior Gillette. There are some other players that I was targeting. And let's take a quick peek and see if they're going to... Okay, James Devlin, I'm not overpaying for a fullback. Julius Peppers, would be nice to get him. Josh Gordon, not going to overpay for him either. And Mario Williams, we'll take him on if he accepts. Really the biggest thing is I don't really want to overpay for, not great players, which is why I didn't re-sign Barkevious Mingo. And who was that other guy? I don't know. Whoever defensive end we had. But I'm going to do some scouting, see what I can find, and I'll come back to you guys next week, and I'll probably have a trade. So with this trade, we're going to be sending the Falcons our 3rd-round pick and Rob Ninkovich for Tevin Coleman, who will be our starting running back this season after letting LeGarrette Blount go in free agency. So we currently have Jimmy Garoppolo starting at quarterback, and I don't know if I want to roll with him or not. It's probably not the best idea. I mean, I could trade for anybody really, but oh man. I'll have to think about what I'm going to do. I really got to think about this. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and advance it to the draft. Alright, so here after the draft, our one and only pick was Obi Melifonwu. Yeah, Obi Melifonwu out of Connecticut. This guy was a 6'4" corner who ran a 4.33 40-yard dash, so I was like, okay, well, Obi's actually the only guy that he kind of lines up with, even though I think he's supposed to be playing safety in the NFL. I didn't want to lose this guy's height, and he also has superstars, so this guy's going to be really good. The rest of our picks, we traded back, so we've got a whole bunch of picks stockpiled for this year, and it's going to end up being important because I need to make a trade, and you guys are going to see it here in just a second, but it's going to be a blockbuster. Oh, man. Like I said, blockbuster. So we're going to be sending the Packers our 1st-round pick this year, as well as Jalen Smith and our 3rd-round pick for Aaron Rodgers. So now obviously we need to trade for another middle linebacker now that Jalen Smith is gone, but we have so many first-round picks now that it's going to be really easy to do so. And we can also trade Jimmy Garoppolo because we no longer have any need for him. And then maybe another receiver or two would be nice. But I think we definitely have a really good chance at the moment to repeat. So I'm going to go ahead and look for some more trades. Alright, so we actually upgraded on two fronts. We're going to be getting Luke Kuechly from the Panthers for Eric Rowe and our first and second picks. So, yeah, like I said, upgraded on two fronts there at quarterback and at middle linebacker. Kind of sucks is we have less first-round picks than I realized we did, so we have like 2 left, maybe? Yeah, I think we have 2 left, but... So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can snag a receiver from someone, and if not, I'll go ahead and go to the midseason. Alright, so I managed to snag a very high-profile receiver in DeAndre Hopkins from the Texans, so we're going to be sending them another first-round pick, Jimmy Garoppolo, and a fourth-round pick. So this team is going to be just nasty. I can't wait to see what it does on offense, specifically. And Chris Hogan's actually fine for a slot receiver, so I'm not too worried about upgrading there. I think that's actually going to do it. This is going to be the starting lineup for season number 2. So we're going to see if we can repeat, and if we do, like I said, we're going to go on to a season... I'm talking too fast for my own good. We're going to go on to a season 3 and see if we can three-peat. So I will see you guys at the midseason. Alright, so here at the midseason mark of season number 2, we are sitting at 7-1, and we are by far leading our division, which is a good sign. We have 11 players to re-sign, including Cam Chancellor and DeAndre Hopkins, but we got plenty of cap room. So Cam Chancellor is getting that contract, and he doesn't like it. How about you, DeAndre? You like it? Oh, he doesn't like it either. Okay, so I got some work to do. So I'm going to go ahead and re-sign all these guys and then sim to the playoffs, so I will see you guys there. So here at the playoffs, as you can see, Aaron Rodgers won MVP, so that's 2 back-to-back years with MVP winners for us, this rebuild. And DeAndre Hopkins has quite a bit of XP, as well as Zach Martin, which is nice to see. And I accidentally rhymed. Trey Flowers also 30,000 XP. I wonder how much Obi has. Actually, 14,000, not too bad. So let's take a look at our record, and we go 15-1. Just shy of going undefeated, obviously. Aaron Rodgers, let's take a look at these stats. Aaron Rodgers, almost 5,200 yards, 47 touchdowns, 10 picks, 69% completion percentage. That is the immaculate number right there. Perfect score. Tevin Coleman, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns on the ground. Pretty good year for him. Deion Lewis also had 7 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins led our team in receiving with 97 catches, 1,500 yards, and 17 TDs. Julian Edelman, a bit of a down year. He's kind of starting to regress, I think. But actually, it looks like we just kind of spread the ball around a lot more than last year. But anyway, 850 yards, 5 touchdowns for Edelman. Rob Gronkowski, 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. And Chris Hogan in the slot, almost 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns for him. Our O-line was pretty decent, not too bad. And then on to the defense, Luke Kuechly leading the team in tackles with 127. Also had 4 sacks, 3 interceptions. He's just a beast. All right, so let's take a look at sacks now. Trey Flowers with 15 sacks led the team. Malcolm Brown had 8. Julius Peppers, the old man out of North Carolina, had 6. He also had 2 picks, which is crazy. I already know that Kuechly had 3 picks. Julius Peppers had 2 picks. Cam Chancellor and Obi each had 2. And then there were a few other guys with 1 each. Forced fumbles, led by Luke Kuechly with 2. And fumble recovers, just a whole bunch of guys with 1 each. And we did not have any defensive touchdowns or safeties. So let's go ahead and look at awards. And Aaron Rodgers, as we know, won MVP. Blake Bortles... my God, this game is ridiculous with Blake Bortles. I swear, he always gets good somehow. But he came in second, which is crazy. Cheat Master, Bill Belichick, finally getting a Coach of the Year award for going 15-1. So let's take a look at AFC awards. Aaron Rodgers wins Offensive Player of the Year. Anybody else up here for us? Nope. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Luke Kuechly, so we are out here sweeping these awards. Anybody else up here? Trey Flowers comes in 9th. Cam Chancellor comes in 10th. Offensive Rookie, we did not have an Offensive Rookie. We did have Obi Melifonwu. He came in 6th for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So it's going to be it for awards, and obviously we have a bye week, so I'm going to go ahead and sim that now and see who we're taking on in the divisional round, and it's going to be the Houston Texans, who we stole their best player from. Well, not their best player, I guess they do have J.J. Watt, but their best offensive player from. So that should be a good game. So I'm going to use everybody's XP, and then we'll hop into that. So this is what the team is looking like after using, well, not everybody's XP, but some people's XP. The only real notable ones that went up, DeAndre Hopkins up to a 95, Tevin Coleman up to an 88, and Trey Flowers up to an 87, and then Obi up to an 81. The rest of these guys all just use their XP after the game here. So taking on the 10-6 Houston Texans. We're 91 overall. They're an 84. We're might as well just chalk this up as a win already. We are definitely going to be moving on. So coming up on halftime here, we're already up. Okay, 35-23 now. They're starting to score a little bit, but if we can just hold on to this lead, and oh yeah, this game has been over for quite some time. We're going to end up winning with a final score of 48-23. So like I said, we're moving on. Aaron Rodgers, big day with 3 touchdowns. Back-to-back years with conference championships. Let's see if we can win this game and move on to a second Super Bowl. How the hell did the Chargers go 13-3? That's my question. But that's who we're taking on here in the AFC Championship game. And we'll see how this goes. I mean, for some reason, the Chargers are always just this sneaky little team. They're an 83 overall, and they go 13-3. But we're up to a 92. I mean, I'm fully expecting us to move on to the Super Bowl, but just knowing the Chargers and Madden, like, they cheat all the time. So coming up on halftime, like I said, or after halftime, I guess I might have been a little late on the draw. Like I said, the Chargers are a sneaky little damn team in Madden. We're only up by 10, but okay. All right. Last minute or so touchdown, and we sealed the deal with that. Had me worried a little bit there, but Aaron Rodgers, huge day, 371 yards and 4 TDs. I don't know how they even managed to score 3 touchdowns with Phillip Rivers having such a bad day, but that's fine. We're moving on to Super Bowl 52. Here it is, the Super Bowl rematch, just a year late. Going to be taking on the 12-4 Atlanta Falcons. So let's check their overall. They are an 88. We're still in 92. Hopefully, Malcolm Butler can contain Julio Jones. But we'll see how this goes. Pretty hyped for it. Let's get into this. So coming up on halftime, we're currently down by 6, and we actually take the lead right before the half. And we score another touchdown to put us up by 8. Okay, we score another, put us up by, okay, we just keep on scoring. And it looks like we're going to have, yep, we win. All right, so we won Super Bowl 52. So that's back-to-back Super Bowl wins. Oh, man, we're basically like the New England Drakes out here, going back-to-back. Aaron Rodgers, 427 yards, 4 TDs, 2 picks. That's a lot in one game for Rodgers, but Tevin Coleman, really good game for him. 105 yards, 2 TDs. Devontae Freeman also had a really good game. Travis Benjamin, holy crap, man. He lit us the fudge up. Chris Hogan, though, 5 catches for 150 yards is pretty insane. Let's take a look at defense. Any sacks? Just 1 sack in the game for Adrian Claiborne. And then Deion Jones picked us off. Jalen Collins picked us off. And then Luke Kuechly had the pick on Matt Ryan. So we do end up going back-to-back. Let's move on to season number 3 and see if we can three-peat. So here in the offseason, I did just sign this corner, Terrence Mitchell, out of free agency, and I'm going to be trading him right away Going to be sending him as well as our first rounder and our sixth rounder this year to the Chiefs for Justin Houston. So I really, really needed a pass rusher, and I think Justin Houston is somebody that I've never gotten before in a rebuild. So I was like, okay, might as well. So we'll see how that goes. We really, really are in need of a defensive end, though. And I'm hoping that somebody signs with us from free agency. That would definitely be nice. And then I also was trying to get a second running back. But we'll see how this goes. I'm going to continue to see if I can sign some guys in free agency. And if not, we may need to be wheeling and dealing next season. Alright, so we are going to be able to sign a few more players in free agency. We're going to be getting Jamal Charles to be our second string running back, and then Will Johnson to play fullback, John Greco for a backup guard, and Rashid Hageman to play defensive end for us. So we're going to see how this lineup shakes out. I think I do need another receiver or two that's not a piece of crap. And then aside from that, pretty much good. I'll have to see next year once I actually get into next season and see what kind of draft picks I have. I'll see what kind of moves I can make. But we're going to start the NFL draft, and I don't think I'm actually going to take anybody because I didn't even scout anybody. But we are going to be trading down, so hopefully we can stockpile enough picks for next year that I can trade for some quality players if need be, but we'll see. So with the first trade of season number 3, we're going to be getting Khalil Mack. We're going to be sending the Raiders our first round pick, Cyrus Jones, and our second round pick. So this team is just sick. It is completely nasty. It's like I wouldn't even touch it with a 29.5-foot pole. Was it the 29 or 39? I don't know. But either way, this team is just ridiculous. I mean, I could use an upgrade over Junior Galette, but it's not a huge deal. I don't think there's really much that I could do at this point. I'm really surprised that Marshall Yanda hasn't retired, though. This guy is just always a solid pickup for me, but I think this is probably... actually, let me look in free agency for some backups, but aside from that, this is going to be the team that we roll with for year number 3. I don't know why I'm here. I need to look and see what I need first, but I will see you guys at the midseason, barring any more trade decisions. So here at the midseason mark of season number 3, we are sitting at 5-2, so not as good as last year, but oh my god, this division's competitive again. Fuck. Alright, I'm pretty sure the Jets signed Drew Brees, so that explains their record. But we have 9 players to re-sign, and actually it doesn't matter because this is the last year, so I should have probably just went straight to the playoffs. But I'm stupid and didn't think of that. So anyway, we're going to go to the playoffs now, since there's really nothing here for me to do at this point. So I will see you guys there, where hopefully we'll win our division for the 3rd straight year. That would definitely help us out quite a bit. So here at the playoffs, once again, we of course make it, and we must have won our division because we do have a bye week. So we end up going 12-4. Everybody else kind of faltered again. So XP-wise, Shaq Mason always gets a bunch for some reason. Nobody else really has a ton. Justin Houston's got a good bit. Obi's got a good bit. Let's take a look at stats, though. Aaron Rodgers, 4,800 yards, 38 touchdowns, 11 picks. Not as good as last year, but still a really good year. Rushing, Tevin Coleman, 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. Jamal Charles, 400 yards, 7 touchdowns. Receiving was led by DeAndre Hopkins again, 96 catches for 1,300 yards and 7 TDs. Julian Edelman, 750 yards and 4 touchdowns. Rob Gronkowski just went off this year. 950 yards and 15 touchdowns. And then Mike Wallace, who I signed in free agency, 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. And then for our O-line, very good. Only 13 sacks. And then defense, obviously going to be led by Luke Kuechly, 114 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 4 picks. Jeez, he's a god. Justin Houston did lead the team in sacks with 12.5. He also had a pick, which is kind of surprising. Khalil Mack had 10.5. Trey Flowers also had 10.5. And Junior Galette had 8. And then for forced fumbles, Kuechly and Logan Ryan each had 2. And then Logan Ryan also had 2 fumble recoveries. I'm not looking for block kicks, I'm looking for safeties. There were none. And 1 defensive touchdown. We finally got one from Devin McCourty. So let's take a look. Okay, this was actually the first year that we didn't have the best offense in the league. We did have the best defense, though, which is kind of surprising. Anyway, on to awards. This is also the first year that we did not have an MVP winner, as Rodgers finished in second place behind Le'Veon Bell. Anybody else up here? Nope. Coach of the year goes to Dan Quinn. And then Le'Veon Bell stealing the offensive player of the year, too. Rodgers comes in second. I really need to drink some water, but Tevin Coleman coming in 7th. And then defensive player of the year, we had Luke Kuechly in 8th. Offensive rookie, we didn't have any rookies, so we're going to just nope out of there. So we're going to be moving on to the divisional round, and we're going to see who we are taking on. And that's going to be the 11-5 Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm going to use some XP, and then we're going to hop into that game. Alright, so heading into this game, like I said, the Steelers went 11-5. And the overalls, we are a 95 now. Oh my god, and they're a 91. So I definitely think that we should win. Do I think we will? That's a different question, but we should. So coming up on halftime here, we were up like 21-7, and they kind of came back a little bit. But let's see if we can pull away a little bit, and we do. Except they score. Can we score? We do. Okay, we're going to end up winning, though, by 3 points. That was a little bit too close for comfort. As both quarterbacks had a big day, but we are going to be moving on to our 3rd straight conference championship game. So hopefully we'll win that on our quest to the three-peat. So here in the conference championship, we're going to be taking on the 12-4 Jacksonville Jaguars, which is just ridiculous. The Jaguars are not going to be in the AFC Championship game 2 years from now. They're an 85. Come on. We're up to a 96. We're going to... If we don't win this game, I'll be a little bit salty. But that'll just mean the quest for the three-peat is officially dead. And I really don't want that to happen. So hopefully we win and we can move on and have a chance at the three-peat. So coming up on halftime here, we scored again there to take a... Okay, now we're up by 14-11. And starting the fourth quarter now. We got the ball, 31-13. 20-31, and we win the game. So we are moving on to a 3rd straight Super Bowl where the three-peat hopes are still alive. They're still alive. And despite a down game from Rodgers, I saw he only had 1 touchdown, like 200 yards, I think. We still managed to pull it out. So I'm just going to auto-upgrade our players. And let's take a look at our team overall. 99 offense, 99 defense for 96 overall. It's beautiful. All right, let's move on to the Super Bowl here. So here in Super Bowl 53, we're going to be taking on the 10-6 Dallas Cowboys. And this would actually be a really good Super Bowl, I think. I mean, I was kind of hoping for it this past season, but it'd be really nice to see, especially if the rookies on Dallas don't regress. But they're an 89 overall, we're at 96. Let's see if we can accomplish the three-peat. So coming up on halftime, we are not doing so hot. We're down 24-3. Okay, 24-10. Okay, 24-17. No, no. Come on, defense. No, no, we couldn't do it. Oh man, guys, the dream is dead. Aaron Rodgers had such a bad game. Oh my God, such a bad game. Wow, Zeke really turned it into another gear for that. So did Dez. Oh my gosh. That's unfortunate that we cannot accomplish the three-peat. I would have been so hype if we did. But what can you do? Winning 2 Super Bowls in 3 years is not bad at all. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Man, like I said, I really wanted the three-peat. That would have been so lit. But Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you want to take a look at the final team, you can see it right here. Just feel free to pause the video on the offense and the defense and the special teams if you are so interested in those. But that is going to do it for this time, guys, and I'll see y'all in the next video.